we'll be discussing breastfeeding without birthing, a breastfeeding guide for mothers through adoption, surrogacy, and other special circumstances. Our panel will be covering topics including latching, calming baby, bottle nipples, and more. Thank you so much for joining us, and get ready to hear from some doulas who know squat.
I was feeling that he actually just fell asleep.
I was thinking that as well. The mama instincts are going off.
Yeah.
That baby sleeps.
We just like both just dense the sleeping baby.
It is
Changeable.
I noticed it was quieter.
Like,
Something's up.
It was like something in the vibrations of the house changed.
The baby is asleep. Be quiet.
It's like that. Yeah, he's not like walking around like the little
He's been slammed lately.
All right,
Latching. Fine.
latching. Oh,
Oh, the
it's two chapters, but they're both on latching, so they might as well just group them together.
Let's do it.
So we kind of touched a little bit before, like we don't want a negative association with the breast, and it's very important to, whenever you are trying to latch, that you always start with a calm baby and not a crying baby. Crying baby will not get a good latch and will have those negative associations. What are some ways that we can make sure that we have a calm baby whenever they are latching? Like tips to calm them down if they are already that hungry that they're crying, and the signs to look out for to make sure that they don't actually get to the point where they are very upset and hungry.
That's your baby will not continue to cry if you do that. Like ever. They might start again as soon as you stop. I highly recommend weightlifting before you become pregnant.
If you haven't heard, we have a Doulas hot lifting club.
This baby that he just gained weight so quickly after birth, he very, very, very quickly got up to 20 pounds. My friend had like 22 pounds, 7 months. Yeah, this baby's 4 months old. Holy cow. That is a big baby. He came close to 10, very quickly reached 20 pounds. Thankfully has not gained a ton of weight since then, but he was 20 pounds pre-4 months.
That's crazy.
Exclusively breastfed, very healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's his life. So when I have to do this for a long amount of time because he won't calm if I stop, yeah, there's a lot of, and then we're switching sides. But it is important that you remember to do the butt shake. That is the part that helps them part. So if the movement is calming, the head rests in your hands, the having their arms crossed like this gives you the same support as a swaddle. And then you bend the knees to line their digestive tract. And then when you shake like this, if they've got gas in there, then it causes them to fart. It can also cause them to burp because they've got a little pressure on their tummy. And so that is pretty fantastic. This helps quite a bit. The only babies that this doesn't work on very well are babies with intense reflux, because with intense reflux, you can't do pressure on the tummy and you can't do movement. So babies with really strong reflux, it's really difficult to calm them down because you kind of take away every single way that you can calm a baby, and so you can't do that anymore. No movement, no bouncing, no tummy, so you can't do like this, or so it's mostly holding them.
Oh, one
and
of
talking
the
to them, tell them it's time to calm down now.
It is actually
Singing, talking. So I talk to my babies a lot. One, it helps humanize them, right? Because it's my job, so I'm working with baby after baby after baby, and so it's important for me to continue to see them as people because I could very easily get desensitized, and I'm not doing that. And then also, if the parent is around, it's good that I already have the habit of talking to baby because I'm telling the baby what I'm doing, and half of my job is teaching the parent not to need me anymore. So then I say, you know, we're going to be doing, you know, so thank you, Dr. Hamilton, for teaching me how to do this. And so we're going to be doing the Dr. Hamilton dance now, and we're shaking our butt. And remember when we're doing this, we're holding the pace, and like them hearing my voice calms them down. So if we're doing reflux and talking to them and holding them like this can be really helpful if they're not like very cuddly happy. I find most babies when they're mad don't want to be cuddled yet.
Yeah.
They're like, don't
touch me.
Forcing cuddles on a baby that's mad is not going to help the situation. Yeah, most of the time. Forcing a baby to do anything is not going to help the situation.
Yeah, humanize them.
Exactly. So then you get them calm enough that you can cuddle, and then the skin to skin.
It cracks me up when you see whenever they're mad at you, so you like give them a second, and then they're like, "Wait,
what?" And oh,
No,
why don't you put me down?
it's like I want you to hold me, but don't put me down either. Just like right here.
yeah."
It always reminds me of, I don't want you to fix it. I just need you to listen. That's what I feel like they're saying.
Yeah. It's like, but we need 1 foot right now so I can interpret all your signs.
Like, I need to get a good observation. What are you telling me? A little bit of distance.
Breathe, take a breath. Okay, you're good. Let's go.
Okay, so what?
I told someone the other day that like the biggest part of my job is I'm the narrator for Mr. Kimmy's life. Like
That's exactly what you are.
narrator. Like they gotta learn words, so
Great for language development.
When you start signing at them, do you want milk? Are you sleepy? You need a diaper change?
she does not sign. I'll say like, let's do all done, and she'll go. "Okay." That's what her all done is.
Babies that make up new signs, I think that's really cute. I had a baby that I was teaching her water, and instead of doing water, she'll little 1-year-old would just pop.
Yeah.
But hers actually popped. My cheek doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But and it would actually like make a popping noise, and that's how she asked for water. Kind of similar, but
Yeah.
That's like one of the very common variations for babies for like more is
Yeah.
Yeah. The first half of the sign for Jesus.
Yeah. My niece does that same exact thing more.
Yeah, my son doesn't particularly appreciate that we're trying to get him to sign all the time.
He'll walk around like, just give it to me now at all times. But for him, this doesn't just mean milk, it just means mom. So
I tried to get her to say all done every single time and more every single time. I'm still going to keep trying, but it is not. It's not happening yet.
Yeah, we get the all done sign when we start things. Like I'm putting him down to change his diaper. All done. Like that's great.
now that you're done, I haven't started. So
Put him in his chair to eat. All done.
can we skip it?
All right.
But what were you asking me about the signs? What are the signs for what?
Oh, what are the early signs that we can look out for hunger cues so that they never get so they don't get to the point of being upset and you needing to call them before latch.
Licking lips. What else?
There's
I can
three.
just tell.
Yeah, there are 3 different levels. The earliest signs are going to be kind of some restlessness, starting to kind of turn their head, and licking their lips, like you were talking about. Secondary signs where you're starting to really toe that line is sucking on their hands, and if they're starting to kind of make like a hunger noise, then you're getting like really close to having waited too long. If they get to the point where they're actually crying and kind of throwing their head back, they're so hungry that they're interpreting it as pain.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So we want to get to them before they're crying in hunger. They are actually, and that, the verbiage for that can be like, oh, they're interpreting it as pain. Well, the pain is all nerve interpretation. So they are in pain because they are hungry. So definitely wanting to get to them before they reach that point.
And it's like, and you also have like the rooting reflex,
Yeah.
which is very obvious, with the newborns especially.
Yeah.
One thing to note though about like the sucking on the hands is like after about like 4 months, that's no longer a hunger cue.
Right.
Because they just like are discovering their hands.
And potentially starting to teeth, and they get their salivatory glands at 3 months, and so they're drooling everywhere and just start chewing on everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so like that some people like they just put their hands in their mouth all the time, and it's like it seems like that's a very common thing that people think that they're losing their milk supply because they think their baby's hungry all the time because they're always putting their fists in their mouth.
I could see that.
That's very common. So it's like noting that like at a certain point, that is no longer a hunger cue.
Got it.
I think a lot of chapter 8 was mostly about making bottle feeding more like breastfeeding and breastfeeding more like bottle feeding to help like bridge that gap to get a bottle feeding baby to latch onto the breast. Like,
we talked about a lot about talking about the aversions.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about sandwiching the breast.
No, we didn't. Yeah, so that's just like a method to make a more firm nipple for the baby to like sandwich on. Like how you would eat a very big burger.
Which is how I teach everybody to latch from the start, because it just makes it easier. So if we're thinking of like this is the nipple, then this is the baby. We're gonna want to sandwich for the baby to eat, right? So we're not going like this and then putting it up to the baby like that. That wouldn't make any sense. That makes it harder. So we're wanting to sandwich for the baby. It's probably sideways. Touch at the nose so that they tilt their mouth up, and then put the nipple in the mouth and just try and have it like up. And then holding like this is just going to make it, you just see how much easier that is for the baby to get mouth sandwiching.
And we didn't even talk about bottles.
Didn't even talk about bottles.
Part of the battle is making the latch on the bottle better replicate what they are going to be doing at the breast. A lot of nipples that are shaped like this, they're marketed as being like, you have this and then you also have like the Komotomo, the ones that like look like a boob type of thing. And they're like, oh, it's much more like looks much more like the breast. And it's going to be more breastfeeding friendly. But that is not actually true and not supported by any evidence. Because whenever the baby goes to latch on something like this, this is not what the nipple looks like when when they are latched onto the breast. Yes, that is also, yes. Whenever they latch onto this, they can't actually get a wide latch. It can look like a wide latch because their lips are clenched.
This is shaped more like a boob. Oh, congratulations, not this.
It's shaped like a boob that has not actually been pulled into the mouth for breastfeeding.
This one where they made it look like a pinched nipple. You know what you don't want to do when you breastfeed? Pinch the nipple. I love these people. Good job, guys.
But like whenever they try and latch here, they can slide to the tip and only like have a very shallow latch, or they could have a deceptively wide latch because their lips are flanged, but their jaw isn't actually wide. the most ideal bottle type is going to have a very gradual transition from the nipple to the base. This is much better than this. There are others that are even better.
Sorry, is this for the SMS? Like they made a hole in the bottle? Is that what this is for?
This is my box of donated stuff that belongs to. I haven't boiled it yet. The same person donated all of these.
It could be. I haven't actually seen this.
Well, we get to do research. Yeah. Sorry.
Just like some of the best nipples for bottles with the best nipples for breastfeeding to get that wide latch, because like something like this, they can put their mouth around the wider base, and not just here. So their jaw is wider. They're not just clenching their lips like they would on here.
Because the change is so dramatic that the baby is going to pull back, and then they're just going to have the nipple in the mouth. And if we're looking at like this is the nipple and this is the areola, then you're teaching the baby not to take the areola into their mouth. And like, congratulations, the rest of the bottle is kind of like a boob, but this top part is not at all.
Yeah.
So it's just bad habit.
So stuff like that ebb and flow balance is one of the better ones for nipple shape. There's I can provide a list of several that we can
put in the comments. I tend not to have good ones because I give those out quickly. Yeah. And these I give to people who are not planning to breastfeed, because I wouldn't want this to go to a mom who thinks that she's getting something that is so good for breastfeeding and it's actually not. Like something like this is just like, we're teaching the child to pinch your nipple? Really? No.
How do you like whatever this? So like,
oh yeah,
so you see it like
and like you can definitely get different like some babies are going to have preference on like how firm or soft the nipple is, and you can get those variations, and like something that's closer to your like how soft or firm your nipples are is going to help them like transition better. But like it's like we definitely have a specific shape that we're looking for. Don't want to be exception.
I mean, it's not that bad, but you know,
people can definitely see like what my phone is.
Did it once and I was like, whatever. Okay, moving on. All right. Anything else?
I don't think I had anything. It talks about just like kind of positioning.
Nipple shield.
It does talk about nipple shield. I think that nipple shields can't be a great tool whenever it's used, like not over abused.
I have a friend who her son like beat her and he's like, I can't do this without nipple shield.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that if you don't, you know, if you say, you know, you cannot use this, then they're not going to be successful in their breastfeeding journey, and it's quite that simple. And for some people, it's something that they need to use until they're able to see a professional to help them, because baby is not getting fed. And taking that tool away from them is going to be. And I'm a big fan of nipple shields because my daughter was absolutely unable to pull milk out at the rate that she needed to. Her suck was very weak. Her mouth was very small. And nipple shields is the only reason that I was successful, because it wasn't happening. So I like them, and I think that they help quite a bit. I can definitely see where people would become overly dependent on them, and you could definitely see it. You know, I understand why some people, you know, they're overused and all of that.
Well, it's like that there's evidence that shows that it's like people will use it because they think it'll help prevent pain, but it doesn't always solve that issue. Sometimes it can cause more pain.
Absolutely, it pinches like no one's business. And my daughter would bite it, but she bit my breast. But she always did that. I didn't have proper care during my breastfeeding journey with her. And to be perfectly honest, I just thought that babies bit. So like it definitely like isn't necessarily going to get rid of pain, but if there is a difficulty getting a latch, if there's difficulty getting milk out, or if you're having some aversion and need to trick baby into thinking that breast is more like a bottle, it serves those purposes very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I did notice, and I forgot that I had talked about this, and I wanted to talk about it, increasing the flow at the breast. So talking about like breast compression, heat, stuff like that.
Yeah, that can always it's like that's going to be helpful for like them. I mean, baby that's used to faster flow from the bottle, baby that is just needing more of that positive reinforcement to stay on the breast. Like if they're used to instant gratification. Like using those tools, and also just like trying to trigger the letdown before they even latch on, like doing some pre-massage or even using a breast pump and get the milk flowing and then put the baby on the breast, so that they get that instant gratification. Those methods are great for reducing the amount of time spent pumping as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Self-expression while breastfeeding for a baby that has a not so great suck was really helpful for me. And I always took something warm, like I would put a heating pad, put it low, and put it under my armpit. There's a lot of milk back here that people just don't get to, and I had low supply. So putting that, and I would put it under my arm, and then self-express. So using my thumb and forefinger kind of like this, and pushing, and you move it around, right? And doing that while pumping or while breastfeeding with the heating pad was the only way that I was able to produce enough.
Yeah, and like important thing to note too with the massage is like this is a pretty gentle massage. You're not like kneading in there like a deep tissue massage. You don't want to damage the ducts in there and cause problems or soreness, and
including people with large breasts, because I was told that because I had large breasts that I had to do it harder. That's really great advice, guys.
Kristen is just slowly killing me. Like all the advice that she's gotten throughout her life. In all aspects.
Oh no. Anyway,
I just want to take younger Kristen and like,
aww, thank you. But I mean, it does, like, when you've gotten all the bad advice, then you know, like, oh, also, someone might tell you this, don't do it. You know, it makes you a better birth worker if then it's not surprising to you, and then you're not like, wait, someone told you to do what? You know before, and you're like, yeah, I've heard that, don't.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Hopefully that'll be the note on it. I'm like, whack.
Not that one. No, don't do that. You get there and then someone's like massaging you, like see it like pushing in. You're like, hey, someone probably told you to do that because you have a large breast. You don't, actually. And it works just as well. You can be gentle with yourself. No need to cause bruises. You're good.
They have these like these cool new devices that are lactation, like massagers that heat up and vibrate. Pretty cool if you have one.
They also have them that are like for babies to calm them down, and they're cute little like stuffed animals, but you can use them. Or you just literally just stick them under your armpit and turn on the heat and the massage and it.
Do you know those toy fishes that like flap? I saw someone tied one of those to their baby. That was so silly.
I'm telling you, it takes the creativity in the world and it just makes your life easier. It is amazing how much like
the fishtail was like that.
vibration, padding, bouncing, all of these things.
It's the true life hack. Sorry.
Purposing what you already have instead of buying brand new niche.
Yes.
I think those are. Do you guys have any other suggestions for helping to get milk out more, like to completely empty breast?
I mean, not a ton other than like I mentioned switch nursing before.
Mhm.
And really, the breast is never truly empty.
Right.
So it's like you think that there's nothing there. I mean, it's always producing milk. So it's like if you need to get more milk out, it's like nursing more quickly, like the switch nurse stuff. And so just
more often, like is key there. More bad advice that you might get is to pump on one side for a full 30 minutes and then pump on the other side for a full 30 minutes and then have this long gap in between instead of doing it more frequently. And that just hurts.
there. I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
I mean, there's stuff to be said for power pumping if you're trying to increase supply. But that's a conversation from the next section.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. What, and so next time we're doing
We
just the next section? We're
Yeah,
just
I
doing
think so.
basically how we're running this live? Is it the whole 4 chapters?
Yeah, I've been like going for like, it's like because the section 3 is the longest if you include the appendices, which I think there's some good stuff in the appendixes, so we might want to cover it. I think that we should do. I was aiming for like 50 pages so from chapter 9 to 13, and then we'll do one more after that's chapter 14 in the appendices.
Sounds good. All right. Well, so we'll read up to chapter 13 for next one.
Yep.
Perfect.